Enter into a new dimension of creation. The power to design, animate, and edit. Cool and quiet as you create, with breathtaking graphics performance. The way you create will never be the same.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Esports High School League for Rainbow Six. I'm Blue Panda. Joining me on the mic, as per usual, Cthulhu. We are here for yet another week, another day of competition, and potentially a different map. Who knows? Maybe. The endless possibilities are ahead of us.
Yes, of course. Indeed, yeah. Look, endless possibilities indeed. Yet another saucy day. High School League brings us. We are unfortunately down to the two teams. Unfortunately, one of the teams did end up pulling out, but we still get plenty of action planned ahead for the next few weeks. And actually, as a matter of fact, let's jump straight to the actual match introduction. Without further ado, it is going to be SEC Wolfpack playing against Trinity College Red. Honestly, two teams showed us some pretty decent performance on the previous week, although at the end of the day, Wolfpack was a little bit more decisive in their performance, albeit some few very unconventional strats, one would probably say, were shown back then.
Yeah, I mean, look, they definitely lived up to the name of the Wolfpack. That's exactly how they played, coordinated. They were very much on top of things. They corralled in their opponents and got those big frags when they needed to pick up the win. So, I mean, it's all riding on Trinity here. They want to come in this week. They want to bounce back. They want to be the ones to equalize here in week number 2. Standings, obviously, unfortunately, with only 2 teams, it is going to be a race of 2. The tortoise in the hare, we still have no idea who is who at this stage. It's still early. But Trinity College, unfortunately, yeah, the loss came through last week. This is their opportunity to bounce back.
Of course, yeah. And the good thing, I suppose, for this kind of setup for them, they get pretty much weekly VODs of their opponents and get to study them. So for their storyline through this semester will be essentially how much can they improve on the week-to-week basis. And honestly, they've had already so far a pretty decent understanding of what do they want to do, how do they want to do it. It's more so just the actual execution of their plans where they kind of had a fair few hiccups. So possibly week 2 could be the possible showcase for us as to where can they find themselves in this whole ecosystem, I suppose. But apart from that, look, yeah, I'm just excited to see what could be brought on board, what can be shown to us by both the teams. Maybe Wolfpack will be going for even more absolutely obnoxious plays out here. So it's certainly a fair few questions are still in place. As a matter of fact, actually, let us have a look which map we are going to be seeing the two teams actually coming out. And well, surprise, surprise, Oregon is in play for tonight.
Oregon, some would say, Boregon, as some of the North American casters like to call it. Look, it's a situation, you're coming into this, you're very, very new to the competitive scene. You are going to look to stick with what you know, and I think this is exactly what we're seeing. Oregon, it's the least evil, I suppose, when it comes to, the lesser of 7 evils, I suppose would be the best way to describe it here. You're not going to be wanting to go to Chalet, Clubhouse, Cafe, Villa. They all sort of fill that similar niche around deep strategic setup. Oregon, yes, it is slightly strategic, but it is, again, it's that neutral territory. It's been played to death. Everyone knows what they're doing in this map. We do see some interesting strategies coming up from both these teams. We have seen them deviate from what is considered the higher level competitive norm, but this is the territory to do that. This is exactly what you want to be doing. It's a high school competition. You're not playing for 6 invitational seeding or anything crazy like that. It's here. You're looking to get into a competitive environment, have a bit of fun with it, and hey, look, play for the highlight reel. That's what you can do.
Yeah, look, the highlight reel is definitely going to be one of the ways to really showcase all of the cool and flashy plays. And honestly, like with Oregon, yeah, theoretically you could call it the Borgen and the map that has been overstratted to beyond any kind of recognition. But I still think that we might be seeing some very unusual, some very fun plays, even with borderline to the point where it's going to be possibly just the Ying blitz rushes kind of thing, which are still very unusual and still a thing that you could be kind of thinking about how to kind of counter strat, even that kind of some people would probably call it low IQ play.
Hey, look, we have seen that through APAC North, it has worked. They're a region that like the Ying. They love to go and they love their coverage, they love their smokes, they love their flashes. They will use that utility to execute onto a bomb site. So it's not like it's crazy out of the ordinary. But here we go, jumping straight into Oregon. Map 1, well, only map here for tonight. The Wolfpack. Can they extend that lead? Can they get themselves a second win? Or will Trinity College Red be able to bounce back? We will have to wait and find out. But Cthulhu, operator bans play such a key part in how Rainbow Six fleshes itself out. We've seen some interesting stuff so far, but you're 100% you're expecting the likes of a Thatcher, potentially something like the Clash could come through on the defense, but it's still anyone's guess.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I'm definitely thinking that we are going to be seeing a mixed bag of some of the more conventional bans and some of the more just kind of personal bans. Thatcher obviously is one of the kind of the no-brainer here, seeing as how powerful he can be to swing things around. Well, there we go. He is going to be off the board. The next one I'm kind of tossing up in between one of the hard breaches or maybe something like a Jackal, seeing as Jackal can be quite a very disruptive force here, and it seems like Wolfpack are very decisive on their pick.
Yeah, I mean, look, hey, it is what it is. It's going to be Blackbeard instead. So, look, hey, it's the Wolfpack. Of course they want Jackal through. That's what he does. He tracks.
That's true.
He tracks this end of his opponents, but look, Thatcher, my current theory as to why he wears the gas mask is not because of its utility use in combat. It's to hide the tears more than anything, given that he has such... Look, honestly, I think the lowest ban rate that I've seen for a Thatcher across any level of play is like 72%.
Oof.
So he's hard banned. I think the only maps you're not going to see him banned out is Coastline, and even then, there's a good chance. Malusi, the first defensive ban, is going to be taken away here by the Wolfpack. They did ban it out last week, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure that's the case, given how powerful. Yeah, she's pretty strong on Oregon, especially in towards that basement, even towards the second floor bomb site as well. And Cade rounding things out, no surprises whatsoever. You see a Thatcher taken off the board, you want to get rid of the Cade as well. I mean, Maverick, he's still in the pool, but again, we talked about this last week. At this level of play, you're not expected to have a dedicated Maverick player because of how complex that Maverick tricking is.
Yeah, Maverick tricking, I would say that Maverick trick, especially in Oregon, is something that is kind of more so of a secondary thing to really think about for quite a few teams. With Oregon, it's a little bit more kind of easier idea of how to play about it. Really, you just kind of try to go and disable some of the banner batteries or the mute jammers, and then kind of go in for the play with the any sort of hard breacher, really, for that matter. Funnily enough, we actually do see a Maverick and an Ace pick for the attack of Wolfpack, and the sledge to be brought on board by Manem Kevin. And
his name is how unfortunate would it be if his name wasn't Kevin? That's just a big mystery.
What if it was Jeff?
Well, yeah, what if it was Jeff? Then that's just a missed opportunity. But like coming in around number 1, we do see some interesting stuff. Yeah, like you said, Maverick coming out here for naught, but we have the Merit in play.
True.
It's going to be run on this basement bomb site. It does make for a very strong hold on this bomb site as well. Baggin Fraggin picks up the Jaeger despite the nerfs. There's still a lot of love for this operator, especially given his utility. MP5 on Childy for that mute as well, leaving Honk who was the standout player for Trinity College Red last week. He absolutely went huge on both attack and defense, picking up that Iana in the second half. First half went absolutely huge. Then Little J sticking things out on the Maestro. This is a very well-rounded defensive line.
Yeah, definitely. They have all the utility really to cover any of the issues. Okay, right. Sorry, slightly
just in case
caught
they
off
drop
guard.
E-Box. I get it.
I
I rate
suppose
it.
so,
I rate
yeah.
it. I do.
I mean,
But
they have the
are-
presence at the elbow as well.
Yeah, they're playing that elbow extension. No ADSs there, though, so this is one that could be dealt with quite quickly if they have that drone information. Hopefully, Chility does have that coverage with those mute jammers. Honkrite looking to play the SMG-11. Drones coming straight in, spotted out. No ADSs whatsoever, so they might even rotate Naught out. Even Kevin, yeah, frag grenade deep. Honkrite is in a world of trouble, and goodbye. Removed, relegated to cameras.
Exactly, and even further information flow keeps on going really here. No reinforcements whatsoever, so this is going to be a very open place here to play around. Not already getting a breach over at the hatch, and right now you can already see the defense of TC Red is looking very cornered here.
There's still avenues, choke points that they're going to have to funnel through lest they need to open their options up. Naught will get that E-Box hatch. They do spot out the cam, but it's don't ask, I don't know. To find the kill on a Little J, losing the Maestro, that's rough. At least Maiden Zaf will be able to find one back onto Sadzi. Looking for even more with that Vector, spots the head, finds one as his teammate back and frag and falls a third. No! Just a bit of work on the spray, contain, breach the other Spaniard, the Jackal. Still alive for the moment. But these low health bars, Cthulhu, they could find the win still off this.
Of course, yeah, 100% Chility is on full HP, Maiden Zaf is on full HP, and was able to actually claim a few very crisp plays right now. So this could be actually a huge play, because right now the whole push of Wolfpack has been actually very much stalled out. Kevin actually does manage to find a kill into Chility, so it's down to Maiden Zaf, who does go in for the swing, but with the reload going in, oh yeah, that's definitely gonna hurt. IDK does manage to pick up frag at the end onto Zaf, and well, that's the first frag, or rather first round, achieved here by Wolfpack, although very much of a sloppy play there from them.
If I had $1 for every time that I got caught on the reload, I would be a very wealthy man, and well, my computer would be better than it is. But coming into the next round, round number 2, it wasn't the worst showing on the basement bomb site. Reinforcements were the biggest lackluster setup there, I think, for the most part for Trinity College. A couple of key reinforcements you need to set up on that basement bomb site. Position those ADSs in that elbow. Give Honkrite the best opportunity to contest that push in you can. And then I think that would have been a vastly different round. We're going up to dorms this time instead. Cthulhu, they're going to change things up a little bit. Contain Breach is going to go from a Ying to a Finker, and Honkrite from a Smoke to an Aruni. So they are still looking to cut down his utility. And Little J, no Maestro for him. It's going to be a Legion instead.
Yeah, look, I'm definitely rating the pick of Aruni, especially on this site as well, seeing as she can kind of play that middle ground, I suppose, between something like a Jaeger and maybe a Castle, or maybe even to a certain degree even Kaid, even in a post-breach situation. Apart from that, yeah, it's once again a very well-rounded in utility department lineup for the defense of TC Red on the side of Wolfpack. It definitely looks like they are, if last lineup wasn't looking aggressive, this is planning to be turning up the aggression even more. The fact that, like you pointed out, Contain Breach does bring out the Finker, which I'm assuming is also... Oh, wait, no, it is Spear 308. Should still allow plenty full amount of fragging. I mean, now between two operators, you have 4 frag grenades to be used, and I can for a fact say that, yeah, this is planning to be the one here for... to look out really for here.
You're really going to do Finker like that? She lost her frag grenades, remember?
Yeah, true. Yeah, my bad.
Sad times in Tahoe.
Yeah, look,
so
I'm
stun
living
grenades.
in 1996 or some stuff right now, really, with my memory of a goldfish.
Poor Finker getting even more bullied. They, in fact, bullied by another Russian, ironically enough. But coming into this round number 2, they are in. They're looking to get that drone work underway already. We are seeing stock standard setups for the most part. The cam's not crazy out of the ordinary. Reinforcements pretty stock standard as well, but Maiden Zaf not droned at all. They're playing in Zulu. Could well and truly upset Contain Breach here if they're not on the job, if they don't reposition that drone, figure him out, because this is such a key gunfight.
Of course, Contain Breach actually going to be sitting in a relatively safe spot, really. It doesn't look like Zaf is looking to really go in for the push. Kevin took a little bit of a tick damage there, and there's information that is coming out. Nord is actually the one to open up the scoreline here. Already full take of the attic, completely unresponded, and it's all starting to fall apart like a domino house.
Well, Maiden Zaf relocates to top white, does find the trade back after losing 2 teammates. Unfortunately, Kevin is going to find Chility as well. So it is now a 2 versus 4. That nano boost is still there. Unreinforced. They reinforced off the rotate. Oh, Sadzi. Goodbye to Bag and Frag. And luckily, Maiden Zaf can get the trade there. 5 kills on him for the moment. Running that rogue 416 carbine skin as well. But Kevin doesn't care. His name will be known as he lights up the kill feed to end the round. And unfortunately, it seems for Trinity College, they just can't stand up against this Wolfpack right now. They need to turn things around in the next couple of rounds.
100%, yeah. They had, once again, a pretty decent setup. They had all the lineup, really, that was needed for the play, but alas, couldn't really do it. I get a slight inkling that it is possibly due to the fact that the way how Wolfpack do play, they are, well, kind of living up to their name. They go in for more, like essentially 2 to 3 player push on the same position, and kind of they just flat out overpower certain spots with just sheer numbers. And it's from the get-go, it is a very difficult task to really hold off a push solo, especially on places like attic, even with the sheer amount of utility that could be dumped on your position. And for TC Red, already they've been struggling ever since week 1. Going into this week as well, they certainly looking like they are trying. You can certainly see, the gears grinding there in the brain box, but it's just not there yet 100%.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that they are thinking, trying to find whatever avenue they need to get themselves back in this with a real showing. And look, the reinforcements coming through now. They are going for not quite what you would call an aggressive hold onto E-Box. It's similar to what a lot of teams are running, but it's not that full, wide open setup that we saw last time around, where they didn't really reinforce much of anything. And it looks like even Maiden Zaf might commit one of those mirror windows looking in towards bunker. No, okay, so it's just going to be a full E-Box reinforcement. Bagan, I believe, only has the 1 ADS as far as I can see, which I think still may be a lack of defensive utility available. Toxic Canister very early there. Yeah,
a little bit premature there, really, on the Toxic Canister usage for now. Maybe thought that he's heard one of the sounds, but interestingly enough, it is actually looking to be a bit of a push through the main stairs already, not shifting through the laundry stairs very slowly, very carefully, trying to just make sure that he doesn't get spotted out. It's, funnily enough, Honkai that is going to be picking up the first frag, as he will be attempted to be hunted down by Kevin, but he's just going to be playing a little bit more of a careful game. Not still just holds an angle, just waiting for the push for anything to really happen. Meanwhile, Sadzi actually already established full position at the freezer, and this could be actually huge if they will not leave it unchecked.
This is the world's most bizarre laundry stairs rush I've ever seen. Slow walking down laundry stairs, drones in, Nort prepped and ready to go for anything that should come his way, waiting for the swing, waiting for the info. Sadzi as well, looks like is going to have control of that freezer door, cutting the bomb sites in half. This is huge for the Wolfpack. Can they find anything? Nort's the first to fall. It's Honkai but back and fragging with that SMG-11. We'll find yet another frag. Trinity College Red looking good here in this round, but it's not over. Contain is still alive, so is Kev. Kev with 5 frags under the belt going into this third round. 2v4, I think it's a lot closer than it says on paper.
100%, yeah. There's still plenty of time for the 2 players of Wolfpack to really set themselves up and go for a rendezvous. Maiden Zaf actually playing a very defensive position here and just waiting for the actual push to commence, which is a decent idea considering the fact that previously Wolfpack was able to even just outplay in a sheer just reaction speed and gunfight potential. So getting any kind of help here in the peaks is definitely a huge play. Bag and Frag able to dodge a grenade, but a little bit of a premature gunfight, but that's all good. Bag and Frag is there to really play it out, and now it's all down to Contain Breach, who's attempting to salvage this round, but right now it's just trying to maybe find a few exit frags at the end of the day.
Yeah, just pad the stats a wee bit. Has some stuns. We'll just toss him out, trying to provide some sort of opening, baiting his opponents in, swinging onto that breach, but they're not going to have it. And well, Maiden Zaf was a little bit quiet this round. It was largely Bag and Fraggin and Honkrai to do the work, and he said, you know, this is my turn. I want to frag. Just positioned up, waited for Contain to get a little over. He finds the frag, and well, Trinity College, they stop the run of rounds. They do get themselves their first on the board. They could look to equalize here going into this 4th round.
Definitely, and that is actually a huge thing here for TC Red here, because they had quite a fair bit of trouble just stopping the round bleed previously. Now kind of going into this matchup, much earlier achievement of the first point for themselves, which is a good thing. An interesting decision to bring in a Twitch by Contain Breach is in play, seeing as it looked like they were running into a fair few issues with the mute jammer clear out and the rest of the utility. So Twitch is definitely a decent idea to be brought on board, especially for a site like Kids. But funnily enough, Kids dorms and main hall was probably one of the more decisive plays than even the laundry, what we've seen in round number 1.
Another week of high school league, another elite coming through here. Shake my head. Well,
SMH my head. Look, oh well.
No, look, I think it's. I don't think it's in the rules. I wouldn't be quite sure, but at this level of play, it's probably the least of the worries in the situation. You're getting familiar with the game, you're getting familiar with the competitive aspect of it. This setup, though, you got to admire from Trinity College. They've got the Valkyrie, they've got the Vigil as well, so it indicates maybe a heavy offside presence. You're going to want to be running that Valkyrie offside, looking to play from below. Okay, no, it's impacts rather than the Nitro Cell, but even still, they've got a lot of tools which would indicate some deep road.
Yeah, 100%, and plenty amount of info gathering there as well. Some few unconventional Valkyrie camera positions, but regardless of that, they should still be able to give a very good indication as to where the push should be coming from. Contain Breach actually sticking to the twist draw and attempting to do something, but thankfully for TC Red, Maiden Zaf was there in the meeting hall ready to get things underway. Back in Fraggin will be this time joining on the roam game with the Jaeger of Maiden Zaf, but playing very far away of roam, and kind of essentially playing off the fact that Nort and Don't Ask Cause I Don't Know is looking, are looking to go in for the push. Same goes for Kevin. So overall, I'm rating this push and this decision making, but both of the teams seeming to be very disconnected almost from each other, which is possibly a little bit concerning.
I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a case. Do you play the loose roam? Do you play the tight roam? Are you looking to play off of each other? At the moment, it seems that Baggett he's on a bit of a journey himself. He's looking to figure out what's going on, trying to go for that big pinch play later on into the round. But for the most part, nothing crazy to kick things off at the start of this round. Kevin gonna be the first. Oh no, Honk! Oh no, Honk! He's just gonna tuck in. Does survive. Spots the head. Gets the frag. My lord, Honkrai's life in that situation was down to mere pixels.
Sure was, yeah, and well managed to make the fool of it, really. Contain Breach, meanwhile, does manage to frag out the Jaeger of a roaming Maiden Zaf, and it's down all to Bag and Fraggin, who will be actually looking to maybe default back to the site through White Stairs, which could be the good timing decision here from the Vigil player. Apart from that, really, it's Sadzi once again to try to spearhead the push. I believe that was actually Contain Breach who ran into the Guma, and meanwhile, for now, it's a two-man push happening around the watchtower, and already the entry into the attic has been made. Oop, and the spot, there's Honkrai goes, and 3v4 is going to be established.
They have avenues in, so Wolfpack, they've done a good job so far. They can look to push in on towards the bomb site, but 3 players remaining, 3 players sitting here covering angles into this bomb site. And, ooh, a little bit of damage on the Little J, still good for the moment. Chilling deep back into the bomb site. Interesting impact throw in there by Bag, and will give away at least some information about positioning. Little J falls, they lose Chility as well. Sadzi just waltzing on into the bomb site. Do they have any idea where this Vigil is or the push-up armory stairs? This could be the big brain play. Bag and Fraggin, though, he's going to need to find 4 frags plus that defuse. That's a tall task.
Yeah, especially with the fact how aggressive right now Sadzi just do. He's hungry for some frags. He wants to go and does spot the Vigil. Doesn't for the pre-fire, just tags him up just a little bit. But right now, Baggin Fraggin is very much cornered. And right now, Sadzi wants to find that frag. Goes in for a fair few pre-fires. R4C definitely has quite a fair bit of damage in a second. And, well, there we go. SEC Wolfpack do claim their round number 4 as... didn't really look like they were really phased. Sadzi just cranking up the aggression even further, it seems.
Yeah, look, it is what it is. They executed cleanly there in that round. They got control of Addict. They got control of Trophy as well. And it was just a matter of getting themselves in, getting the plant down, playing for that post-plant, winning their ones. And Sadzi well and truly won his. Going at around number 5, though. 2 rounds left in the half. Kitchen Dining going to be making its first appearance here, it would seem. Mozzie coming out for the honk cry as well. So they are looking to play that misinformation game. Mute and Mozzie on the board, deny the drones, deny Contain from getting into that key information or utility off the board, and then Little J going to be bringing out the Yokai drone for Echo as well. And no, Baggin going to switch out from the Jaeger onto a Valkyrie. So information, misinformation is the name of the game in this round here for Trinity College Red.
I mean, I'm liking what Trinity College has so far done, because they've acknowledged that without the information that Wolfpack was able to acquire at the early stages of the round, they were very slow with how do they want to approach. They were very passive in some of the plays. They didn't want to really go in for the push. They didn't want to go in for even congestion of any of the gunfights. And it is a very solid acknowledgement with the fact that, hey, if they can disable right now the information flow from SEC's Wolfpack, they could slow things down to the point where it's about to hit maybe 30-20 seconds, and the attack would be forced to really go in for the push, a very desperate one as well, into the side, which should allow the setup of the crossfires, which, once again, very sane idea, but like I've mentioned before in the pre-show, they have fantastic theory. It's the execution that so far has been shaky. Yeah, it's one of those things at this level of play. You're not expected to be pulling off the masterclass plays. You're not going to be the one who's making. You're not the Shaiko for your team at this stage. You are learning the game still. You are doing what you can to pull out the win at the end of the day. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's just the pure and simple breakdown of how this matchup is going to go at the moment. Wolfpack are looking good. They're looking solid. They have been playing very, very cohesively off of each other. And, well, Contain Breach in chat, 99 health on Echo. That's exactly what you should be doing. Yeah, I've probably already called it out in Discord channel as well. But, once again, look at what St. Edmund's College are doing. The sheer amount of droning before any kind of push commences. Finally, Sadzi does get allowed to go off the leash, but instantly gets punished by Honkai. And this is a perfect play here. Baggin Fraggin is the one to actually pick up another C4 kill, which is absolutely huge, because not only that's the getting rid of one of the soft breaches, that's Sledge, and it all leaves kind of the soft breaching job onto Not, who was only limited to just about 2 impact positions. Contain Breach at the very least was able to actually find a refrag, so overall this is looking still very much salvageable here for SEC Wolfpack.
Well, 2 quick frags hit the kill feed, but it's one both ways, or don't ask, jump straight in onto a goo mine. His position very much known, is going to get the down onto Little J, but at the cost of his own life. Contain is going to be fragged out, and unfortunately Little J doesn't even have time to be picked up there. It will be the round going the way of Trinity College Red. They keep it within 1. They might be able to bring this back to a 3-3 half, and there you go, your kill feed, the last kill of the round. It's good clean shots to win it out.
Exactly, yeah. The moment they managed to isolate and get rid of that original aggressor that is Sadzi on the Ash, they were able to actually keep the momentum in their hands, and definitely looks like Trinity College might just be able to keep this up. Laundry room and supply room. Now, this was the side that was actually won out by TC Red on their second attempt. So they definitely have the idea, they have the good setups. On the side of St. Edmunds, though, well, I was about to mention the Zero, but unfortunately we shall not be seeing the 4th echelon operator to come to play, and instead it's going to be Hibana.
Yeah, look, hey, it is what it is. You make those transitions that you need to execute on. Contain has clearly invested a little bit of money into this game, because that's the second elite we're seeing here. First Twitch, now the Hibana. Look, I rate them. They are very, very nice cosmetics in this game. And everyone knows that cosmetics and elites make you better at fight.
Exactly. Although I will say I'm more so of a kind of the average R6 share enjoyer than the elite skin fan.
Yeah, look, if you're not running the TSM skin, you're not going to be hitting your shots. It's just how the game works.
Exactly. Look, same for both for Zoff and the Mozzie. Those two skins were absolutely beautiful and stunning. Seeing a little bit of blue on blue type play. Unfortunately, Little J copped the buckshot to the knee, so maybe soon eliminated from the title of the operator. But for the time being, seeing like just the generic kind of pressure on the bunker and elbow with Bag and Fragan already once again very prematurely using up the gas grenade. But already we are seeing some improvement. The Mew Jam is now behind the shield as well.
Yeah, keep the information to a minimum here if possible. There are players stacked up outside. Toxic Canisters throwing. This is a very early retreat away from the bomb site, and unfortunately, yeah, poor positioning on those ADSs does mean that Naught can clear out that shield. You want them sitting on the wall above that shield just so when the shot does come through, it can deal with them. And now they've lost control of this blue tarps area. They can start to push in. Wolfpack, they have the position they need to get onto the bomb site.
Not only that, right now they have the full control possibly of the pillars as well, because Zaf is only now about to go in for the peak, and that is off a very, very passive position in the basement corridor. So right now this is definitely, say at the very least, that could have been done much better, is possibly an understatement. Although Honkai from behind is able to find a frag. Zaf actually able to get it down onto Sadzi, so now it's down to Not and the rest of the team to try to pull off something, but it's Containment Breach and my name Kevin trying to get some things underway, and right now it's just, it seems like a bit of a desperate push here.
Oh, that elbow is spotted. Hograi. Okay, just straight past the door. I'm in danger. I'm getting out of here. But Maiden Zap has loved this corner down in the basement. Has done huge work from this position already. 1 minute left, so they are burning through this clock pretty quickly. Swinging in, what can they do? Contain Breach looking to get that plant down, but it's not a safe spot by any means. They can still shut that one down, and Hogcry takes the head off of my name Kev, and they lose yet another key player in executing this plant.
Of course, Maiden Zaf once again finds some even more retaliation onto Nord. This is definitely not looking too pretty, although we've seen Sadzi just going for multiple kills and is able to turn things around very quickly, but this is dire. 28 seconds, they are cornered in their position. They can't really make a clean rotation out of this position. Already Contain Breach is just there kind of stuck with attempting to go for a bait, but TC Red definitely learned from their mistakes previously. They are not really moving to any kind of bait, although a bit of a trade coming around. Sadzi only able to claim one, but that doesn't really help Contain Breach position and situation, but does go in for the frag. Comes in, goes in for the swing with the bearing, decides to just turn around, but no time whatsoever, no time to plan, and no round, so we are on a draw.
Yeah, the clock, she's a pretty brutal player in this game. If you're not keeping your head on, if your time management isn't there as an attacker, you're going to find yourself struggling. So, 3-3 going into the half. Trinity College in a pretty solid spot. They might be able to pull this one out of the bag. Although, if we carry on with the momentum that we have, 3-3 trade in the first half, could see another 3-3 trade. We could see our first overtime of the season.
Quite possibly, yes. There are plenty of possibilities for that, although we've seen that actually the trend kind of happen on multitude of different leagues, including Women's League as well, where we've seen one team perform absolutely sensational on the defense, but once it came down to the offense, it kind of all started falling apart. So this is going to be yet another test for Trinity College to see how well can they perform on the attack. They've shown us some pretty decent amount of coordination, but this time SEC Wolfpack actually kickstarting their half on the meeting room and kitchen, which is usually considered to be more so of a tertiary site rather than a primary.
Well, they are going to be going for that castle lockout as well. that we have seen a lot of teams running.
That is
You
true.
lock out Big Tower, you lock out the meeting door, you set up the rotate. I'm anticipating a potential extension in security, given that there is that one panel that hasn't been reinforced. But look, these guys, they've been playing their games so far. Why would they change it now? Because of what I'm thinking. Because, look, honestly, this Wolfpack have been playing this quite cleanly.
True, yeah. Whenever Wolfpack were able to ramp up their momentum and just establish dominance over majority of the important positions, they were able to just completely steamroll their opposition. But past few rounds, look, they've been definitely struggling. The Mutant Mozzie combinations managed to work out and stall things out. And the fact that Honkai was able to achieve quite a fair few very successful roam rounds for himself and the team definitely showed it there. Well, for now it is going to be a very aggressive push, and it seems like an attempt to actually clear out top floor first by TC Red is going to be made, which is a sane idea given that quite a fair few times some vertical presence is a huge advantage.
Those advantages need to be utilized here. This is an interesting site that there is some vertical play to be had, but it is largely over kitchen. It's just that much harder to get control of attic in the situation. A lot of teams will just forego it completely. But at the moment, yeah, they've got in, they've got pit control. They've got the hatch in attic as well. This is solid positioning from Trinity College.
Yeah, managing to establish that position, but right now, oh, the double flank actually coming out. Honkai manages to frag out one. Does he know that Sadzi is there as well? That is the big thing, because right now that could pretty much mean the win or the loss. But funnily enough, actually, the Mozzie of Sadzi decides to fall back, so we are still going to be sticking around to 5v4 with Bag and Fraggin actually attempting to hold the position over the hash, but not for long. Minute 14 remaining. The push needs to commence at some point, but right now it seems like they are still very much hesitant about whether they want to go in for the push.
Well, with a minute left, I have to do something. My name Kevin does just avoid the kill there, but it's I don't know who finds the next one. Quick trades going back and forth, and unfortunately, despite his best efforts, he didn't know he gets dropped and he gets felled. He's out of this gunfight. Contain Breach, though, on the job does find Honkai. That nano boost proving to be a little bit of a hassle, but look at that. Contain has one of his own. Stim Pistol and the rest will keep him nice and healthy in this matchup. Little J, the one trying to lock down that stage corridor, slow walking. Sadzi swings! He just goes full aggression, gets the head, and we're in a 2v2. Make that a 2v1. Contain, unfortunately, finds the short end of a long barrel in the hands of Made in Zaf, who really has been hitting those shots. And Sadzi almost finds the lineup onto both of them. Looking for that spray through the pew in meeting, can't find it. These two players very much separated. Not much time left on that timer either. He's got to find the angles. He's got to find the cross. Chillity on the floor. Playing in the corpse. The pre-fire is not good enough. And Trinity College will take the first round of the half.
Just like that, they even established the one-round lead over this matchup as well, which is a huge thing here for them, seeing how just dominant the last week's performance was. But this time, much more preparation so far seem to have gone into this week's match. Round 8, and we are on a 4-3 scoreline, which could possibly mean, like you said, the overtime could really be coming into fruition here, but maybe a little bit too early to really call it for now. Laundry and Supply Room is going to be the next choice for SEC's Wolfpack squad, as it seems like the idea of getting the harder side out of the way didn't really work out, so back to the much more comfortable ground with the choice of Mirror as well.
Yeah, bring him to the fold if it works. It's going to give you a huge advantage. Basement, we've seen it played a couple of different ways now. Sadzi on this Mozzie, just unfortunate. Chillity in the perfect spot to deny the chance, the clutch up there in the 1v2. But, I mean, Trinity College Red, they're going in absolutely swinging here in this half.
Definitely, yeah, and it definitely helps them out quite a fair bit. The fact that they switched things up quite heavily from the last week's performance, where they were playing a very almost passive game, to much more aggressive. There's much more of the roam game definitely looks like they've been putting in the work, putting in the time, and definitely pays off so far. But looking at the setup a little bit more quote-unquote conventional on some of the setups, namely the mirror positioning and full reinforcement of the electric box, meaning information will be flowing in, but no damage will be yet flowing out from the defense of the Wolfpack.
Unless you're Cloud9 and you're putting it on CCTV wall, which is it's not a good play, guys. Don't do it. Don't put it right and where they're going to be breaching. But at the moment, it looks like we have a bit of a stack up outside this big tower position. Trinity College might be looking for a straight flood down big tower stairs. Unfortunately for them, there is players waiting in resistance. No, they're going to be heading straight into meeting, looking to get that hatch open, prepped, and ready. Deny any utility coming out of that E-box mirror as well. Even the laundry stairs, prep, Honkai, and Bagan are positioned on the drone. They spot out Nort. And so there we go, Honkai just looking for that information, looking to feed it through, looking to set themselves up for the execute. They might even drop the laundry hatch here. This is TCS. Sorry, okay, I keep saying TCSG. No, Trinity College Red. They are playing this in a position where I would 100% believe they might be able to take this map away.
100%, yeah. I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing. Oh boy, yeah. Nort just got flashed out completely, and yeah, look, definitely loving what we've seen so far from them. The fact how aggressive they can get and how much it actually paid off definitely shows that now against their opponents they're actually coming out much more prepared. This is Wolfpack looked much more dominant in the previous game. Now they are kind of looking a little bit dire on attempting to take some of those gunfights, and some of those setups certainly doesn't look like the information flow is as good as so far Trinity College were providing.
Well, hopefully the flow is a little bit better here as we hit 50, not 15, 5-0, not 1-5. 50 seconds left of the clock. Now it's only 45. Honkai is down. Now, for the moment, it's that burn hole that's going to be his undoing. He opened the gap. He's been punished through it. Not looking to do even more punishing, but oh my lord. Don't ask, because I don't know. Takes out Bag and Fraggin. The SAS counterpart on the other side of things. Contained Breach finds one. Toxic Canister going to slow down the push here from Chility. Well, 2 players left against the 5. They still have the nano boost, but it's gearing up to be that 4-4 situation.
Of course, yeah. All down to Chility, the man who needed to go in for the push when all the commotion was happening, but didn't really do that. Will be trying to go in for a few exit frags, but even then, unfortunately, only picks up a single one to deny maybe just the flawless round. But look, yeah, 4-4 indeed is going to be in play here, Billy. Definitely, it's going to be quite a tight matchup, and the moment Trinity College would make a mistake, already St. Edmund's College is there to essentially punish them for those very mistakes. So definitely, it is going to be neck and neck points-wise, I feel.
Yeah, well, Contain, yeah, look, Contain has invested some money. Here we go,
oh,
another one. Nanotox 32 Legion.
We're just going to go through all of the elites, I feel.
Yeah, look, I think maybe any prize money that comes out of this is going to be going to another elite skin for Contained Breach. I wouldn't be surprised if we head to dorms upstairs. They liken the Finker. They bring a lion in, so they're going to bring out the Chimera pair. Physical prize. There we go. We have confirmation there. So unfortunately, no more elites for Contained Breach. He's going to have to use his pocket money for that.
I mean, I get an inkling that the pocket money from the get-go already been used for the acquisition of much more important assets, that is the elites in Siege. Although I'm even personally, I would have to say that I'm about to probably, after this broadcast concludes, the Zephyr Stars Elite is kind of calling, not gonna lie.
Look, there are some tasty cosmetics in this game, but 2 seconds left in the prep phase. Cthulhu, Lion and Finker both on the board. Someone is going to have a bad time. And I honestly could not say who it is, because depending on who you talk to, Finker is either the greatest pick to have as an ally or a complete troll. Because of the recoil change, you've spent so long practicing your aims, practicing your recoil, and then Nano Boost comes in, and all of a sudden you're shooting at the feet.
Yeah, I think it's more so actually just going to be that combination, because both actually with Finker and Lion, you get those sound cues that actually overlap quite substantially anything else that is happening in the game. So whenever those get popped, a little bit of a surprise play could really come around from players like Sadzi, players like Nort, and they could really make a play of that, even though the visual cues are definitely going to be there. So I definitely agree with you. The Finker buff definitely could throw off a few of the players, but seeming as they've been going quite consistently with those picks, it doesn't look like it is planning to really phase them in any shape or form. The main question here is how well will not be able to keep hold of his position, because that is going to be a crucial part to hold onto the attic.
Well, they do have secondary hard breach gadgets they can utilize here. Bandit battery's gone, so Nord realizes, oh, actually, not only the one. Oh, this could be an interesting position. Nord, just all he needs is an inkling, just a little bit of information. Oh, might even be able to catch poor Honkai. We've seen this punished before, Cthulhu. Oh, the head was momentarily there. Spray, Honkai in a bit of danger. He's going to be tagged up in the ankles. Pull off that for the moment. And, well, Baggett is the one to pick it up this time. Unfortunately, it's not a favourable angle at all.
Indeed. Well, actually, not. Oh, a little bit of a panic play there with the button. Nearly pushed it. I could feel that, like, nearly the finger pressing the detonation button, which could have been absolutely tragic here. But instead, it's actually Maiden Zaf who will be redeeming the position. Actually, it's a full-on flow-in through the double window, and that is huge here, seeing as the finger buffer is already in. It's all down to my name Kevin, at least for the first few seconds here in the push to try to push things back. Oh, bit of a... Oh, maybe here. A bit of damage being dealt, but nothing that can be negated by the boost.
Yeah, look, unfortunately, it's not a case of Rook being involved here because, well, the impact could have been there, but Little J falls to Sadzi. No more nano boost coming through. Kev gets on the job. Sadzi for another one. Outside the double window, they're going to find the defuse holder of Bag and Fraggin. And all of a sudden, they were on the site, but it doesn't count for anything. Honkai, the remainder here for Trinity College Red. Unfortunately, just the defuser not in the right place at the right time. They were in the bomb site, but the defuser wasn't.
Yeah, and that was at the end the downfall of TC Red's push, and just like that, there is the conclusion of the round number 9. To go once again in hands of the Wolfpack of St. Edmund's College, and look, they've managed so far to pull off quite a few very interesting turnarounds in this matchup, and so far managing to take the 5th point for themselves means that they're only one step away from the match point and to guarantee themselves at the very least the overtime, whereas Trinity College, they've had a good beginning. They, like you said, they were on site, just couldn't get the diffuser in time, or rather even just the coordination seemed to have just completely disappeared. That very information flow that I've been mentioning before so far seems to have also dissipated.
Yeah, well, there we go. Wolfpack will get themselves the lead yet again as we head down to Kitchen Dining, the other side of that coin, coming through here. And, well, are going to be going for what is considered the traditional setup. They're bringing that castle back in once again. They're going to be going for an extension. The change, though, comes from the side of Trinity College. We see a buck coming in here for Bag and Fraggin. They're looking to play some of that verticality. They're going to try and threaten where they can. And Honkai will pick up the Iana yet again. We saw him go absolutely off on this operator last week.
Yeah, and this is definitely looking like now the kind of majority of the big strats, at least, maybe have been exhausted at least partially, and some of the players starting to resort to much more kind of confident, or rather comfort picks in regards to the operators. Buck choice I definitely rated, seeing as all of this floor right above kitchen is very much breachable, and so can be said at least about parts of the dining room, so quite a fair few angles could be set up, and without a doubt the Buck will come in handy. Same goes for Ash and the Zofia, but the main issue here, they only have 2 secondary hard breach devices, no dedicated hard breacher for that job, so the moment either Little J or Bag and Fraggin do go down, that is it for their chances for any kind of hard breach.
That's exactly it. I mean, all the teams you do see bringing these operators of the secondary high breach gadget in that secondary high breach role. You're seeing a lot more Capital, you're seeing a lot more the butt coming through. It's just so versatile. Interesting though that we don't see the vertical extension. That hatch is now a weak point that can be exploited here for Trinity College. If they get it in, it looks like that's exactly what they're gunning for. They want to get straight into that kid's dorm, get control of the hatch, get control of the verticality, and there's no one upstairs to resist them.
Exactly. Well, the Honkrai's hologram is about to confirm that very thing, although still quite a fair bit of waste of time. They are being extremely cautious about their approach, which is understandable seeing as how St. Edmunds played out their plays quite a fair few times and were very aggressive on some of the swings, so understandably so they are going to be playing a much more slower game, although, well, now that they've figured it out, no need to use the frag grenades. Young man, get back in here.
That's exactly it, and well, Skeleton Key opens things up. They're going to look to start to open this verticality as well. Threaten where they can. Baggin is the one. Oh, never mind. I was going to say Baggin's the one on the job, but Contain says not today, buddy.
Very filthy angle to really play around and actually connect a
no.
second headshot as well. Contain Breach doing some absolutely sensational job. Not as well was able to, I believe, pick up that frag, and all down to Chility and Little J, but Little J does go down to the hands of my name Kevin, and it is all down to Chility once again. The Ash player just doesn't seem to be able to crank up that aggression just yet. It tries to go in for the swing, but it's still a flawless round from St. Edmunds College.
They might stumble, but they won't trip here. The Wolfpack have well and truly regained their footing in this matchup. They're going to look to take it even further if they possibly can. Cthulhu, match point secured, 2 rounds away from overtime, and Trinity College, they're going to have to go absolutely huge.
Indeed, yeah, look, Laundry could be the possibly last sight for us to bear witness here, because so far, look, they've managed to actually defend it really, really well for themselves, and it was actually the site to begin there so far a 3-round streak for themselves, so quite possibly that could be, they started with Laundry and they're going to end it all with Laundry on the second half as well. Jackal choice for Bag and Fragan instead of a Nomad will be pretty much kind of indicating that they want to make sure that they want to clear out those roamers first, make sure that the defenders are locked in onto site, and they would not have to worry about any of the late flanks, because, well, technically there weren't really any of the flanks, but it definitely looked like Wolfpack was allowed to shift around the site very freely without any locking of the opportunities, positions, and even now you look at some of the setups, this is quite a departure from what we've seen in the initial defense of SEC's Wolfpack, as they've completely reinforced previously the whole of the electric box. Now it's more so turning it up and making it a bit more of an aggressive point to play from.
Attacker's objective is to
I mean, this E-box position is, it's such a rough one. You need to get the Rio onto that hatch so you can play the mirror window there, and at the moment it's still soft, it's still free real estate for the most part. Because, I mean, look, if you drone it out, if you get that information early, you go above, you clear meeting, you clear the hatch, you clear the window, you can then facilitate a push in through construction. Don't ask. Going to be the man on the job here. And Alba, again, no ADSs in this position. They are relying heavily on Contain to hold this angle down so that all Don't Ask has to do is contribute toxic canisters.
Interesting thing here, actually, TC Red has opted out of pushing the bunker, fully knowing that the setup is going to be then very heavily contested. So instead, push in with Bag and Fragan and Honkride to try to hunt down the dog, but the actual ping forced off the dog player out of the position. It is not that is going to be possibly the next person to try to contest that position, but nobody actually even planning to really yet go in for the push, and instead we're just going to be seeing some utility clearance for the time being.
That's exactly it. They're starting to cover those angles, but look at Nort. He's played up big tower stairs, looking to do some damage. Little J going to be punished for the most part for the moment, just getting tagged up from this position. That's rough, and Nort, yeah, he's looking to be a nuisance. He finds a kill on a Zaf, and that is a big one to be losing. They lose the Hibana, no chance at hard breach from now on. They're going to have to win their ones, win their gunfights, and that is, well, unfortunately a pretty tall ask, especially when it is the Wolfpack, and they have been fragged cleanly. Kevin, oh, I said it! I cursed it! It's the caster's curse! He will lose out to Honkai. Unfortunately for Honkai, though, Sadzi is there for the trade immediately. Players are falling. Health is bleeding low. TC Red need to go huge to close this round out.
Indeed, yeah. Bagan Fragan, after seeing the red footsteps, will be notified that Sadzi is still in the area, still in the vicinity, and that peak could have been the end of him. Does get droned out, so the Aruni player was about to opt out of that position, but decides to just stick around, and seeing as Bagan Fragan actually completely forfeited that spot, so it is going to be a relatively aggressive peek on through the main stairs. The last ditch effort here with 34 seconds remaining, and some form of play needs to happen here because, well, maybe sacrifice a grenade, maybe sacrifice the drone. No, that doesn't work like that, unfortunately. You have to sacrifice one of the projectiles. There it is. Well, the push needs to happen. 20 seconds. Here we go.
Nano boost up the spray through the wall and storage. Supply closet is a very, very scary position, especially with the mirror window in place and the info's there. It's feeding through. Contain finds one, but bag in for two. Unfortunately, has no clue that he's being pinched in on. Not denied the frag there. By don't ask, because I don't know. And it very, very nearly was a comeback towards overtime for Trinity College Red, but unfortunately, it seems that there is no escaping the Wolfpack.
Certainly does look like it, but still nonetheless a huge improvement here from Trinity College. They managed to actually take it to a much closer game. 7-4 is going to be the scoreline for this week, with Sadzi and Contain Breach being kind of the MVPs for the Wolfpack, whereas Zaf and Honkai were the ones to pop off with a double digits scoreline for themselves. But alas, it is what it is. Here we are, a little bit of a main menu peak for all of us. But yeah, look, nonetheless, congrats to St. Edmunds College. They managed to score themselves yet another victory here in week number 2 of this semester of High School League, whereas Trinity College yet to find themselves a dub, although you can see the considerable amount of improvement that we are seeing comparative even to week 1.
I mean, even in week 1, it's not like these matches are complete shutouts. It's so close, and it's just these little things that are escaping Trinity College that somehow the Wolfpack are able to capitalize on, and St. Edmunds, they just take it, they run with it, and they pick up another win here. Going into week 3, though, Cthulhu, is that going to be enough progression for Trinity College to bring it back? Because if they do get a win, it is 100% going to overtime. I don't know whether it'll be on Oregon or not, but I can tell you, SEC, they're going to make them work for it.
I'll definitely have to say, at this stage, I would probably, if I was actually, for that matter, either one of the players from the teams, I would have actually went for maybe even a slightly different map just to break up the general approach, the strats, because for now it seems like TC Red was starting to kind of counter-strat the Oregon. But the moment we're going to be seeing a completely different map, say even something like Clubhouse, even something like Coastline, I do believe the pace is going to be completely different here, and either one of the teams could really claim maybe the victory, or maybe Wolfpack could really just completely shut this down. But let's actually have a look so far at all the stats, all the nitty-gritty of this matchup so far, because we've seen quite a fair few very solid highlight performances.
Well, I mean, look at that. Contain wasn't even the highest fragger. It was Sadzi and Maiden Zap, who both went 12-8 here. Yes, Contain did go 11-1-4, so it is. He does have a nice 2.75 KD there at the end, but the numbers are coming through. They are starting to build up for Trinity College. You can see them getting close to that point where they could quite conceivably contest their opponents here. But unfortunately, yeah, like it's just when you've got Kevin, Sadzi, you've got all 5 players here for St. Edmunds just popping off, playing, gelling. The cohesion was there. It is going to be a pretty tough road.
Definitely. And even when it comes down to, say, even Trinity College, you can see at least, well, not to be in any shape or form harsh, but where kind of the improvement needs to happen, even just in the fragging department for Little J and Chility. I mean, even for Chility, the main thing here, at least from personal perspective here, will be if you are kind of going for a bit of a more of an Ash pick, try to be a little bit more try to be the one to take the incentive to, or the initiative to go in for the push rather than kind of waiting for the rest of the team. Because we've seen a fair few scenarios where Chility, for example, will be kind of the last man standing whilst being on the Ash, whereas it's more so kind of an entry fragging role per se. And whilst at this stage it is a very good thing that they have a very kind of stark difference as to, or rather stark understanding of what needs to be done here. So hey, look, all the best wishes and hopes for them to improve should week 3 come around. But here we are, the standings at the conclusion of week 2. Still at first place for St. Edmund's College, and we're still yet to see the revenge story commence for Trinity College here.
Yeah, it's time for the training montage. Trinity College need to go away. They need to get themselves prepped going into week number 3. But that does bring us to the end of week number 2. Massive thank you to our sponsors, though, who have made all of this possible. I mean, 7G, UQU, providing some support on the backside of things, ZQ Racing, the Computer Alliance, Intel, ROG, Cooler Master, and obviously Ubisoft for making all this possible. Not to mention the players, the schools, the fans behind the scenes as well. Thank you for sticking with us here for week 2. We look forward to seeing you back for week number 3. And, well, was it going to be the comeback story? Are we going to see St. Edmunds carry on their reign of terror? You'll have to be back here next week to find out. We'll see you then.
Enter into a new dimension of creation. The power to design, animate, and edit. Cool and quiet as you create, with breathtaking graphics performance. The way you create will never be the same.